All right, we are recording now. All right, three, two, one, rolling. Wake up, Bainbridge. We are here today with Deputy Mayor Joe Deets. He's also been a council member for this is the beginning of your fourth year.
Well, next, I'm just finishing my third year
Just
of a
finishing your
four-year
third.
term.
Yeah. So he has agreed to come on the show today to talk to us about just how he got into politics, how he came to Bainbridge, and also the current events that are going on today. So welcome to the show, Joe Deets. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Sal. Thank you so much for having me here. I know you and I have been talking about me coming on your show, and I'm just so thankful for you doing this. Hey, hello, folks. I'm Joe Deets. I'm a city council member with the city of Bainbridge Island. I have a four-year term. I'm now finishing my third year, so I have one more year in my term of 2021. And let me just say, I am planning to run for re-election. Okay,
All right. I like it. Let's get that out of the way.
breaking news, right? Let's go. Why would he do that? You know, if you haven't noticed, there's a lot of folks who drop out. And why is that? Why is there? It's so hard to get people to run for council? Although we do have some excellent candidates right now for the North Wards seat, but let's just say it's difficult to get people to really make the commitment to run for office, to stay in it, and even harder to get them to run for re-election. But that's what I am intending to do. Why is because I love it. I love this work. I am totally energized. I can't tell you how just stimulating this work is. I mean, it's hard, it's frustrating, there's nonstop things that get in our way. But you know, that's the nature of democracy. That's the nature of trying to do work in our communities. I mean, do we really expect this work to be easy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. We've certainly come to find out it's not, whether we expected it or not, right?
Yeah. I mean, I come from a little bit about myself. Let's see, I've been on the island since 2000, so 20 years, which happens to be the longest time period I've been anywhere in my life.
Congratulations. I've lived here for 20 years as well. We landed on the rock in the same year.
2000, okay.
Yeah, March of 2000 I moved here. Yeah.
Yeah, I arrived from Hong Kong,
Wow.
but it was a roundabout path for me. Born in California as a young boy, and then my dad, this in the 60s, we still don't know why, but he moved all of us to Montana, to a rural community, to a small farm, very remote. And it was really, now I look at it and it's like, wow, what was that all about? And I asked we asked Dad, why did we move? He was a prosperous businessman in California and in a university town. Dad, why did we leave that for this remote backwater? And it is still kind of a backwater. And he's funny. He's 93, still very cognizant. He says, you know, I don't know why I did that.
He probably just wanted a challenge. I mean, if he was a successful business person, he probably kind of figured, well, I can figure it out anywhere. So that's kind of my dad. I grew up in New York City, and my dad moved to upstate New York. He just wanted something very different. And so he moved us out of the city, changed us. And yeah, so it's a similar experience, but please go on. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So I remember I was a young boy, and at the time it was like Huckleberry Finn, just one big adventure for me. But now I look back, God, that was kind of bizarre. So then I grew up in Montana, my sort of formative years. A lot of my deep friendships come from there. Went to the University of Montana. And then when I graduated, I became part of Montana's biggest export, its youth. Because there was nothing to do there.
I've never heard that, but I like that. That's good.
So, and Seattle was actually a company I had worked for transferred me to Seattle, and I just never looked back. So that was the year Mount St. Helens blew up, 1980.
Yeah.
And I remember, wow, this is really cool. Seattle, and it's got the outdoors, what I'm used to, but it's got all this other stuff, you know. So then I I worked my background was in finance, and I worked for the brokerage firm Merrill Lynch for many years. And then I met my wife in graduate school. I was getting my MBA, and she had family in Hong Kong, and they had a family tragedy. Her mom was quite sick, and so being she and we were just kind of heavily dating at that point and getting sort of serious. And she says, "Well, why don't you come with me?"
Yeah.
And I thought, "Oh yeah, sure, Montana, Washington, Hong Kong. That's just a natural."
Yeah.
Didn't have a passport or anything. So I moved to Hong Kong in 1989, just when Tiananmen Square was happening. And then, so here's just the bizarre thing here. I show up on a tourist visa, and I had no right to look for a job. You know, we weren't married or anything. I was dating her. We were just sort of, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend. And in 3 months, I got a job with the government of Hong Kong in securities regulation. And I just find that, wow.
Wow.
So then they, you know, I said, you know, I'm just actually a tourist legally. And they said, we'll work this out.
Now that we got you, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. So can you imagine someone coming to this country
Yeah.
from somewhere and within 3 months working for the US federal government?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're not a citizen.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So anyway, I worked for the colony, what was the colony then, up through the handover to mainland China. That was in '97, and then we left in 2000. But I always like to tell the story. You know, here I'm working for Friday. I finish work. I'm working for the colonial government of Hong Kong. Take a long weekend off. Come back. My desk is still there. My paperwork's still there. Everything looks the same. But I'm working for the Special Administrative Region of China.
Yeah, so just to kind of geek out on that for a second, what changed for you, if anything?
Oh, that's a great question. It's really, it's a mind bender, because in some ways, obviously nothing changed, because, you know, I look around, you know, there's a flag that's different.
Yeah.
My boss was from Beijing, where the previous boss was from London. But a really good guy from Beijing. We all liked him. Tony was his name. Spoke, you know, I mean, totally cool guy. But everything changed. Everything changed.
Yeah.
But in ways that you couldn't see until what we've just seen recently in Hong Kong. Unfortunately, it took a while, but what my fear was has happened.
Yeah. And it was just kind of slow. It was just, I mean, there's no way to kind of flip a switch and make that kind of change. It has to happen over decades. And interesting.
Yeah, I had colleagues, friends who were activists, democracy activists, and I'll just say I'm afraid to kind of reach out to them now, because I don't want to cause any.
Correct. Yeah. And and it's very interesting, but that's actually a very real thing. It's not often you have to consider not calling or phoning or Skyping a colleague that you had once, especially when now it's all about rekindling, you know, old friendships you had, and, you know, business relationships, and you could possibly get somebody in a lot of like very significant trouble in their life. Yeah.
Particularly there, particularly there now. So anyway, I even in 2000, I saw the writing on the wall, and I'll just say, folks like me, white guys are called guailos in Hong Kong. I don't know if anyone's ever heard that term, but it means ghost, because the common view is they thought we were ghosts when they first saw us. But anyway, that's fine. It was just a term.
Yeah.
But we decided to go back to the U.S., my wife and I, and we met in Seattle. And so we said, well, this is an area we know, but we're kind of done with the city. You know, Hong Kong is kind of like the original movie of Blade Runner, if you will. And so we thought, I'm not sure if let's not move to the city, but how about close to the city? And we literally looked at the map and, hey, Bainbridge. So anyway, so we moved here in 2000, and we've just fallen in love with the
Yeah.
place.
Have you always
As
lived
you
on the
have.
north end of the island?
Well, we bounced around. We were renters, and but yeah, I think for whatever reason we've gravitated to the north end.
Hmm.
I live in the north end. I'm North Ward representative. Um, so the other thing that happened with me at that time is, I had this finance background and everything, and I still sort of have that in my DNA, but I kind of had an epiphany. I did have an epiphany while I was in Hong Kong, because I saw the pollution that had been steadily rising. Hong Kong is what it is, but it's in the South China industrial belt, where 3/4 of the world's manufacturing is occurring,
Hmm.
and the amount of pollution over the years that we saw was just getting worse and worse and worse. And I remember I often had respiratory issues, and it just really wasn't healthy. And so I kind of had an epiphany that, do I want to just kind of keep doing what I've been doing, which I'll just say was helping rich people get richer?
Hmm.
Is that what I want to do? And so we were on a trip with some. We were volunteering. I'll keep the story short, but I was in Tibet, and we were helping out a school. We were helping fix a school in a remote area of Tibet as volunteers. We were there for like 2 weeks. It was really cool.
Hmm.
Very rugged, I'll just say. But we went and visited some nomads. There's a lot of nomads there, and they live in tents and travel around. And we were visiting, and outside one of the tents was a solar panel. And of course, I know what that is, but I said, "What's that?"
Hmm.
And one of my friends, fellow volunteers, he said, "Well, that's a solar panel. They're powering to do stuff, power the radio and their yurt." And for whatever reason, that just hit me like a 2x4 over my head. I thought, how cool is that? I want that. I want to that's it. That is it. And so we got back to the States, and I've just devoted myself to renewable energy, clean energy. I went back to school, got some technical knowledge, formed a nonprofit, Community Energy Solutions, that did a lot of solar projects. The one at Sakai School is one that hopefully folks notice. That was done by us, the organization I led. And then we did a lot of work with Habitat for Humanity, putting solar on Habitat homes, which I'm very, very pleased with. And we did the community solar project at the City Hall,
Hmm.
which just got wrapped up, selling back to the city. So I did that work, and it was extremely gratifying. And then as I grew into this, political situation in the U.S. just seems to get, let's say, worse.
Hmm.
And it was literally, Sal, the prior election, okay, when who will not be named, was,
45. That's what they call them.
was elected, and I got like really upset, and my wife said, "Well, I hear you. Do something about it. Don't just complain."
Hmm.
And she said, "You've been talking about running for council. Why don't you do it?" I thought, wow, you're giving me permission to do that.
And that's what you need. I mean, you really, I would imagine, need the support of the person who is your significant other if this is the thing you're going to take seriously. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, she could have said, "Are you crazy? We got so many things to do and
Hmm.
priorities," and then that would have been it. But she said, "No, go for it." And I said, "Wow, really? So you support me?" So I ran and had a campaign. It's all that political process, getting donors
Hmm.
and attending events and debates and all that. It was so cool.
Yeah.
And it was, I think, was one of the most exciting times of my life.
It's got to be. Yeah. I mean, it's got to be just super exciting if you're into it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Now, I had been staff for Senator Rockefeller's campaign when he ran for re-election, so I had sort of a feeling for what campaigns were like. This very intense 6 months of just nonstop doing stuff, and then it's done,
Mm-hmm.
And then but this was the first time of being the guy, and so I was the guy, the candidate, and anyway, I ran, and the voters elected me, and which I'm honored. And so I look to the whole island as, I'm your representative.
Mm-hmm.
I'm your representative. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm a representative of everybody, not just North Ward or anything like that. And I'll just say I take my responsibilities very seriously.
I think
I
you spend a lot of time. I think you spend more time than others, and you just spend a lot of time on stuff, and so you can't be at the amount of meetings you're at and read through the documents you have to read through and not spend, at least half to three quarter to almost. I mean, it's yeah. So and I commend people who do that. So I really appreciate that. I think that to be a good council person, you have to really you got to understand, and you have to be well read on what's going on right now, and understand. And then that's not even counting all the people who want to contact you and have a conversation with you about something. So, and so I really, the volume of what you guys have to deal with, or you all have to deal with, is just pretty tremendous. So I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you. And
Mhm.
and it is a lot of work. And I'll just say roughly for every 5-hour meeting, council meeting, consider 5 hours of prep work. The amount of time you're roughly you need to have about at least that amount of time to prepare.
Mhm.
Because that's the expectation is you come prepared. And I think the public knows when we're not.
Mhm.
And then we have a lot of committee assignments. As Halsey mentioned, I'm because when Councilmember Medina left, damn him. Sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm pushing my cat away.
Oh no, it's all right.
When domestic issues here. When Cole is on a lot of regional committees, and so I'll step in on those. So those are the Kitsap Transit Board, Kitsap Public Health District, Kitsap let's see, KRCC. It's sort of the Kitsap Executive Committee. I don't remember the full, but it's KRCC.
Mhm.
And then I'm also on Kitsap Economic Development Alliance. And so I represent Bainbridge. I
Yeah.
represent everybody, your interests in transportation, health, land use, broadly speaking, grants as they're structured, for transportation grants. And I'm my counterpart. My fellow board members are mayors, county commissioners.
Mhm.
I'll just say professional politicians. And I'm really glad I'm doing this now after 3 years, because I think one thing is there's no job training with being a council member.
Okay.
You're elected and here you go. And I'll just say it took at least a year to feel like, so I'm just saying, new folks, when you get selected, whoever the new North Ward folks, give yourself some time
Mhm.
to realize there's going to be a learning curve. That's cool. But you will get better. You will get the hang of it. And so now I feel like I'm in my stride now. I'm enjoying it. It's all the complexities, and you turn on your city phone and you go, what's it going to be today?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So can you just talk a little bit? We'll kind of gonna transition into current
Yeah,
topics
sure.
in a second. But can you talk a little bit about how, you're Joe Deets, you have you have a family, you have work that you do, and so when do you turn it on and off? And I know it's probably got to be different for each council member, but like when do you decide? I can't keep this on all the time. I can't respond to every email the minute it comes in.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I find that to be a challenge, because one, I like this. I like doing this.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I'm not sure if it's fun, but I get joy out of it. I
Mhm.
mean, I like work.
Yeah.
I like doing, and this is good. This is the people's work. So I guess in full honesty, I do have a hard time shutting down. I go to the store and I might even hear something and I just say hi. I couldn't help but hear a complaint about,
Hmm. Hmm.
about something. I'll just let you introduce myself. Um, and so, like, I'll just one example just happened weekend before last. It was 7 p.m. on a Saturday. You're dialing down, thinking what you're going to do, watch a movie with your family, and I got a call, and it was from someone I know who I don't speak with often, but enough. We
Hmm.
speak off and on, and they tend to be very long, intense calls,
Hmm.
over an hour. Now, I was weighing. This is to your point, Sal. Okay? Do you say, "Oh, I'm busy" or "I'm tired"? It's Saturday, Saturday night. So what did I do? I had a 2-hour conversation with this guy, almost 2 hours,
Hmm.
and my family, I just stepped in another room. They just know,
Hmm.
that, okay, that's Joe doing,
This is the work. Yeah.
this is what he does, and I have a 15-year-old daughter, and I hope this is instilling some thoughts of doing something for the community and being part of the process. We'll see. She's freshman at high school, so she has her attitudes,
Yeah.
very attitude.
I wonder, do they have any kind of like councils or boards or anything like that at the high school level?
They
Civic
do.
clubs? Yeah.
Yeah, like one of our friends is an
Hmm.
officer in the
Yeah.
freshman
Interesting. Yeah.
class,
Okay.
and they had kind of a little campaign, which
Hmm.
was cool.
Yeah.
And my daughter's on Model UN, so which is so this she's trying that out. So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, you try and be a role model to your kid and the community. I mean, Bainbridge has really, there's rightly so high expectations of us, and I'll just say sometimes this is why when you see folks drop out and leave, it's because of the pressure and the time. um, I get it. I've never thought of leaving. In fact, I plan to run for reelection because
Hmm.
I think it's really cool. I like the hard work, actually. So, but anyway, yeah, family, of course, yeah, they roll their eyes, but there is a time, like to your point, Sal, you do have to say time out. And there's days when what I do is this phone's going off.
Hmm.
It's just freaking going off. And I'm going to put it off. And then guess what? I won't know if
Yeah.
there's an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I really
Well,
want. I'll find out what happened. But then So you're right.
yeah.
It is that balance.
Yeah, and the emails and messages will be there when you turn it back on. It's I fall under the belief of if it's important enough, you're going to leave a message, and if it's really important, you'll contact me back if I haven't contacted you. And not that I try to do that, but I have a lot going on too sometimes, and so and I tell this to constituents. I say this. I say our city council is one of the most accessible city councils I've ever seen in my entire life. I've never before seen the amount of response and access that normal residents have, and regardless of who you are, you have that kind of access to our city council members. And if you have a legitimate gripe or issue, and you'll do some of the work for it and not just say, here's my issue, go fix it for me, you'll probably get it heard. And there's a really good chance that you might get a resolution to your issue. And so I really see it as a pretty fair process. Sometimes it's long-winded, but the work you do and how available you all are, and what you will do for constituents, I just don't think that probably happens in a lot of places. And so I think that we are very fortunate to live here. We are very as much as we want to complain about how long council meetings are, all the stuff we could complain about council, there's a lot of good work that gets done. There's a lot of access. There's a lot of opportunity for new things. Like, hey, we have a race equity task force. We're one of the only cities in the country that has that. And so, there's just, we can say we're not this and we're not that, but we certainly, we're good at some stuff too. And so I like to acknowledge that. But let's kind of transition a little bit into some of the more current things that are going on, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just start with the North Ward candidate. So there were 5 candidates. Cole Medina resigned. and he moved to Walla Walla to lead the foundation there. My question to you about Cole is, do you think he'll ever run for council in Walla Walla?
All I know is, well, first off, I was is probably so surprised as everyone when he said he was leaving, and it's like, what? You can't do that. You know, he's our most experienced council member, and trust me, experience matters. So yeah, all I know is there was someone asked him that on the dais, and I just saw him shake his head.
He's good for now.
Yeah, so I think he's gonna do his thing in Walla Walla, drink good wine, work for his foundation, or the foundation he'll work for. But you know, I think maybe once you do it, it's a little bit in your blood. You know, I mean, I can't see leaving public service permanently. You know, and I mean, what if I run for reelection and I lose? Well, you know, I'll think of something to do, you know.
It'd be hard to be as connected to as many things as a you or a Cole is, and then just evaporate, like just decide to put your feet up and do something different. Yeah, I just can't imagine. And the other thing is, he left public service in the form of city council, but his job is completely tied into public service and completely tied into city councils and public governments, and so it's, you know, he's not getting out of the game at all. He's just
I can't see how that could happen. Yeah. You know, once you do it and you find you have some affinity to it, you know, it's certainly not for everybody. Do you know only 2% of the population run for office?
Wow, that's an amazing statistics. Only 2%. So 2 out of every 100 people you see will ever run for office.
To even do this. So here's my point: is I have tremendous respect for all the candidates. Let's just say this most recent one. Everyone who signed up, I have tremendous respect for them, and I think I'm positive that's shared with my colleagues, because we all know what that means. And so, just to be clear, it's like, wow, you step forward. You have my total respect, and I might not vote for you, but you have my respect.
Absolutely. Yeah. Those are two very different things. All right. So let's get into it. So there were 5 candidates, and I'm not going to be able to remember all their names, but the 5 got whittled down to 2. 2 went down to a second week, which was this last Tuesday. And then there was kind of a 3-3 vote on 2 different votes that happened about that. The first was during the process of right before you were about to make a motion to vote. Michael Pollock brought up the idea of an advisory vote, and then that turned into a motion, and it was voted on 3-3, which was failed. But can you just talk to people a little bit about what you know about the advisory vote, or why it was brought up, or, you know, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, sure. Well, I literally only heard that for the first time that afternoon, like a few hours before the meeting. And I'll just say, Rasham called me and told me about it, and I'm like, what? We can do that? Really? And I'll just say I was intrigued because, let's just say, there's a lot of interest in this selection. Just saying, this is not an idle issue at all in the community, and just judging from the emails we get. And I'll just say I was this issue probably was one that I've agonized over almost I don't know, it'd be hard to say what was the most agonizing vote I've taken, but this would be one of the toughest, because the original or the first meeting, I gave Jane the top vote. You know, at that time we scaled it, and when Brenda was number 2, and then I was comfortable with that. And mind you, number 2 doesn't mean, you know, you're not a winner in your view. It's just,
correct. It doesn't mean you're not qualified. It doesn't mean anything like that. It just means if you had to sort, that's the way you were sorting that day.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm sorry. I guess I don't want to get away from your question about the advisory vote. So anyway, so I'll get back to that point. But let me quickly advisory vote. So I was intrigued, and so I thought, well, because we can't talk amongst each other, we're forbidden to go into a quorum offline because it's illegal. It's a secret meeting. So Rashan brought that up, and it sounded like Michael knew it. So there was three, and so we can't talk to anyone until
Sure.
it gets on the dais. So I literally did not know what my colleagues would think.
Hmm.
But I thought, well, let's have a kind of, let's. I mean, we all know this is a very historic vote
Hmm.
and of quite substantial implications on many levels. And so I thought, let's bring this up. I mean, the public is so engaged, and I just felt,
How does the public get engaged in an advisory vote? Does something does it go through the county again?
well, what I understood was, and first off, it's not going to happen because we
Hmm.
voted it down.
Yeah.
But I understood it is it would go to a vote, like, so the school was going to have some bond issue, I think, or levy,
Hmm.
and then so this was just so it'd be tacked onto that, and then
Got it.
you would vote for you and I and everyone would
Hmm.
vote for these two individuals, one of them, and then we would get that vote, and council would look at that and then say, okay, based on that, does that change?
Sure, sure. And it's not a binding vote. So just because if they could have voted either way, 60-40, let's just say, either candidate, and the council could still take that and for some reason choose not to vote that way. It's just
Exactly.
they're just being and just to give everybody, they're being advised by the public. That's why it's called an advisory vote. So
That exactly,
mhm,
and I'll just say for much, I said this on the dais last week, but I really, how many times in my mind I was thinking, what does the community really want?
mhm,
I'm now, it's illegally, it's my call, I guess you would say, or my vote, but
mhm,
really, what do the people want? Now, we were getting a lot of emails, and let me just say, um, there was comments about Brenda getting a few more, and I actually it was fairly equal,
mhm.
although Brenda got a few more, but that doesn't sway me that, oh, Brenda got more emails and therefore it doesn't work that way,
Yeah.
because it could be a sign that someone has a very good um, plan of getting
Yeah, it could be a
people.
good marketer. Yeah.
Exactly, a good political tactician. But obviously, if it was way imbalanced,
Mhm.
someone got 100 emails and another person got two.
Yeah, that'd be a little different. Yeah.
So anyway, I thought it was worth a discussion,
Mhm.
and I'll just say we saw some colleagues were quite extremely opposed, and that was the first I knew that,
Mhm.
and so okay, fine. So this is how it works.
Mhm.
We vote if it, and we make a decision, and we move on.
Mhm.
It's sort of like, it's, to me, it's done. It's
Mhm.
sort of like, I'll go back to the police station. I voted against that, the acquisition, because I thought we were spending too much money for it, but it was voted, a majority wanted to move forward.
Mhm.
So my mind, it's done.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
move on.
Yep.
Just because I don't want to revisit it just
Yes.
because I
Correct. Just because it's
voted.
a new chance to maybe get your way. Yeah. No, and that I totally understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the advisory vote, and
Mhm.
so I really knew next to nothing about it, but I thought it was, look, folks, let's at least have a conversation about it. I mean, we're just kind of, let's just say this was a tough decision, and so it's done.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not coming back, not to me.
Not for well, it can't for this. Yeah, they had to have some paperwork in by Friday, and that's yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So anyway, talking about the two candidates, I think both Jane and Brenda are excellent candidates.
Mhm.
And let me just say, so my thought process, again, we were getting all these emails, but that didn't really sway me. I mean, it's just, other than, like I said, you just sort of say, there seems to be interest in these
Mhm.
people. That I took. And, um, but then again, it was still my decision. So I just thought, Sal, there's so much to be said for both of them,
Mhm.
really. And so I literally, this has never happened before that I can think of, where I literally, when the meetings began, I had only one thing that I knew that I had decided on. And that one thing was to listen to the two
Mhm.
candidates, listen to what they say. And then I knew I'll make a decision.
Mhm.
And so Jane spoke. She was eloquent, calm, measured, knowledgeable, insightful. Wonderful. So she went first, and I thought, oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And I'm, in my mind, is like, that's going to be tough to beat. And then Brenda came on. She was calm, measured, knowledgeable, and insightful. And then I also looked, I was looking at her and thinking, wow, isn't this what we've been talking about with the Race Equity Task Force and all the issues that the country has been going through and the community? She's a real viable candidate, and who am I to say no?
Mm-hmm.
And it was really in that moment I knew what I made my decision.
So let me ask you this: did you not want to be the no to her access, or were you voting for her to be the choice for the candidate?
I'm not sure I understood.
Sure. So if you had voted that day, the vote that you had voted the week before, Jane Lindley would be the North Ward City Council person right now. And so what I'm saying is, when you voted for Brenda on Tuesday, did you vote for her to not be? Did you vote to extend it so that we could have more conversation about it, or did you vote because you thought, no, I want her to be the other North Ward Council person just like me?
It was that. I mean,
Okay.
here's the thing: is I suspected it would be a tie,
Mm-hmm.
but then again, I was the second council member I think who voted. I think Christy went first, and so okay, folks, this
Mm-hmm.
is my vote, and it's probably coming as a surprise because
Mm-hmm.
it's a change, um, but others could follow suit,
Yeah.
and but I did think, okay, probably,
Mm-hmm.
because people aren't going to do what I did. And let's just say that's hard.
That is
But
very hard. Yeah. Yeah.
so
Did
it's
you
time.
Do you think, or can you talk a little about how you think the format for this coming Tuesday will kind of roll out, and what people can expect in regards to the process?
Yes, because I just came out of a meeting with the mayor and city manager like just before a
Awesome.
few minutes ago. So we were talking about this, and in my recommendation, and unless I had to leave the meeting early, because I'll talk to you, but my recommendation was, let's just do what we did before and just put it to a vote.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's our choices, folks, as I understand it, for what to do. We just keep voting and vote and vote and vote until one of us snaps.
Will there be conversation for each vote? Like, each time somebody makes a motion, is there then going to be a round of conversation?
There'll be a discussion, but
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to. We're not going to bring the candidates back like on Tuesday. I
Got it.
mean,
Okay. So
that's not my understanding, because
there's nothing more involving them. It's just you all making your decision now on Tuesday.
yeah. Now, I mean, that's what I interpret, because but that's
Mm-hmm.
just me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we have heard from them, and now it's up to us.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
And so we're gonna have a vote, and then we'll see.
Yes. All right. All right. So, would you like to talk about anything, like kind of what do you see other than this, North Ward candidacy, which is clearly important? What do you think is maybe the second or third most significant issue facing Bainbridge Island right now? And we can kind of talk about that for a few.
You bet. Okay, very quickly, Sal, if I could, there's two things I
Please.
had sort of
Absolutely. Oh no,
my
absolutely.
list. One was the city engaging with the Government Alliance for Racial
Hmm.
Equity, AIR, which you know well, and
Absolutely.
it was like a year ago, December of last year, I think council approved unanimously to move forward with get training with GARE, go get into a program. Well, nothing's happened. I'll skip all the whys and whats, because but more of, we've re-engaged with GARE. The city has. We're now members. I was part of a meeting in October with our new contact there. really, really nice guy. Roberto Montoya, he's out of Denver, super cool guy. You just love him. You'd be a great guy to interview, I'll just say. But anyway, they are, part of it was Gare trying to do the trainings in the era of COVID, and they had a transition with some staff. But that's all done now. But and they're getting their sea legs, let's just say, with COVID, like we all are. So they have what they do, a cohort training, which is basically different jurisdictions. See, Gare works with government. That's their niche. Is they advise like cities and counties and, on putting in a racial equity lens and then plan. And so we kept bugging them. When are you going to have another cohort? Well, they're going to do one Q1 2021. And so I'll just say that's my intention is, well, we're going to be part of that. Okay. And then there's a Gare Foundation training that I think can be done kind of now in the meantime. So let's just say just for the time that we have, Sal, so that's ongoing, and that's good. It's just
great. Yeah.
It's like a year longer than it should have been. And I share people's pain about that. But last thing, I'm sorry,
please, yeah.
Talking tongue is economic recovery on the island. Something that's I know is really important to you. It's really important to me because let's just say beginning of 2020 was this part of what I thought. What am I going to do as a council member? Well, no,
yeah, probably not.
It didn't occur to me. Well, COVID's changed things, duh, and so businesses are struggling to survive.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the city just had no, I'll just say it was very hands off with the businesses. And so I said, well, I'll be council liaison to the business community. And as you know, and Leslie's is part of a sort of, well, Cole was part of this, but he's gone. And Leslie was part of sort of an ad hoc group. And, we've been meeting, all this. So we had a meeting, which you were part of, Sal.
That was a great meeting, I thought.
Yeah, and I love to do that again. So very quickly, what I want to share with folks, we met with, it was a Zoom meeting, of course, with it was open to all businesses. And I just said there was support in the business community for the general store, the Bainbridge Island General Store, which is it's an online store which has now been running since Friday. And so I think it's Bainbridge Island.
BainbridgeGeneralStore.com.
Yeah, please, folks, take a look at that. Buy something, okay? Like I did the other day. So there's definitely support for that in the business community. There's support for broader e-commerce assistance. And so actually we're going to talk about this next Tuesday. What can we do, the city can do for that. Ideas for expanding the store. And then the last thing, because I know this is important to you, Sal, is a grant program. Because there was definitely, I saw there was interest in a grant program, although there seemed to be differences of opinion. Well, let's just say,
I think nobody knows how. Yeah, exactly. I think we all know it's sort of just like what to do about business. We all know we need a multitude of different things. I think each of us needs something a little bit different. So landing on the perfect one is probably going to be super hard for any of us. But yeah, like you're saying, I thought that there were at least 17 to 20 people in the conversation. Most people were very engaged, business owners from all different types of businesses, different business organizations. I just thought it was kind of a really cool brain trust of different types of people giving different input. That's why I was very it was just very cool to see. I really appreciated it.
Did you record it?
I did not know.
Okay. I mean, that would have been fine if you had.
No. I wish. Yeah. No. If we want to next time, I will. But no.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I just thought of that. Maybe next time we can record that. But anyway, I'll just say, folks, before we go, you have any questions for me as a city council member? I'm here. I'm your representative. You can call me at 206. What's my phone number? 673-1864. I do answer my phone, and people don't strangely enough, don't call council members that much. They send emails, but actually, the phone can be very effective.
Yeah, it's
Um,
oftentimes more effective than an email because you're getting 100 emails and you're not getting 100 phone calls necessarily.
exactly. So when someone calls, I kind of feel like they're really serious, and we just have we have a nice conversation.
Yep.
I have office hours. I don't have anything scheduled for the rest of this year because it's December.
Mhm.
Uh, but I'm your representative, and you have issues with the city or just with me, well, as much as it can.
Absolutely.
And so anyway, I'm so appreciative of this opportunity, Sal. And
Me too. I really appreciate you coming on. I think that this was a great interview, great way to get to know you. I think you provided some great insight as to the stuff that's going on at the city level. And that's what I love is I love for people. I feel like the more people can understand what's going on at the city level, they'll be able to pick and choose what they want to be a part of and how to be a part of the city. So yeah. Is there anything you'd like to say or acknowledge, or you would like to acknowledge anyone, please?
Very quickly, the city just purchased the community solar project, of which I was the developer of, and in fact, just got the check yesterday. So I made two. I always believe when you're successful, it's not because of you. There's others, and so I sent a message to Senator Phil Rockefeller, thanking him for the legislation that he did that make this happen, and I thank my attorney, who without him it wouldn't have happened
Mhm.
because he was very skilled. So I guess what I'm saying is this is something that really hasn't been commented on. That the city, there's the largest solar energy system on the island is at City Hall, and the city now owns it, and they got a really good deal, by the way.
Mhm.
So
That's something to
thanks.
be proud of. I completely agree with that. I think that really matters. Yeah, it's sprung a lot of other stuff too. So it's not and to me, and I'll just say this about that project, when people see that project, don't just look at those solar panels on top of City Hall and think it ended there, because people saw that and decided to do something because the city was doing it too. And so for me, that's the stuff that we don't get to see, but the work that people like Joe does, whether it's for the city or whether it's a private business and it's helping the city or the community, I wish more people would do that kind of work because it exponentially helps more people. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that was really a fun project. So anyway, Puget Sound Energy is doing some community solar projects on the island.
Mhm.
I don't quite know the structure, how they're going to do it, but stay tuned. I have my differences of opinion with the utility, but in this case, I'm really glad they're really stepping up on that. So
Perfect.
anyway, I'm your representative. I'm just saying, you know where to find me. Please don't be shy. I'm here for you. And even if you want to complain about me, that's fine. I want to hear it.
I can vouch for that. Joe has taken a complaint about himself from me, and here we are, literally, and I really mean this, folks. Here we are having a conversation, and so I really appreciate you, Deputy Mayor Joe Deets, Council Member Joe Deets, resident of Bainbridge Island Joe Deets, human being Joe Deets. I really do. So thank you very much, Joe Deets.
Thank you so much, Sal. And really, you're doing great work here.
Thank you.
Valuable. This is so valuable, particularly now, these days.
Thank you. All right. Have a great day, Joe.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye. All right, folks. That was Deputy Mayor Joe Deets, City Council Member Joe Deets, human being Joe Deets. He gave us a great interview. I really appreciate that. That's another Wake Up Bainbridge interview. Stay woke.